What's up, gamers? How are y'all doing today? It's Spoob, and we have the Creator Roundtable number 7. We're gonna go down the lane, full frontage, kick it off.
All right, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Really excited to get the Creator Roundtable back. It's been a minute since we've done one. I think the last one was like early December, or no, not early November, because it was way before Update 8 came out.
Yeah.
So it has been a long time, and I'm excited to get talking and see what we have going on the agenda for today. Maybe some Update 8.5 / Update 9 predictions, whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
Go ahead up, dude. Introduce yourself to the 9 people who don't know who you are.
Wait, that's crazy. You're straight up just telling me that I'm irrelevant? That's insane.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No, there's no. Wait,
That's exactly
I'm
what
sorry,
he said.
To the 20 people. To the 20 people.
All right, so what do you guys think will come on update 8.5? So basically, I don't really have like too much high hopes on terms of like number of minis. We already have like an SP mini confirmed, so I'm thinking maybe only 2 minis, and it will mostly be like, economy based changes.
Yeah, I don't see too much content being added in this update. I have a feeling it's mostly going to be like changes to collector levels, the toy machine, and then we know a new SP mini is coming. And then I would imagine probably a few more skins too, because we have the Royal Cade Champion and the Villager skin that were supposed to be for Epic Keys, and then they just never dropped them. Which honestly, like, I think that kind of slid under the radar for a lot of people, because like if the Clash Mini team knew that they were going to be reworking the system to make it better, and then they held off on implementing things that would cost a lot of money, that's like impressive. Because most of the time I feel like people would just be like, it's money, who cares, let's just drop it, and then we'll fix it later and let people complain like, I spent $300 on this, now it's only like 100, whatever the economy change is going to be. So honestly, like, I give props to the team for just being like, nah, the system sucks, let's hold off on releasing that.
Yeah, I remember
I
we
definitely
were
do.
complaining a bit about that when like we saw the death and everything. Like we complained about it, about it being released during this period and everything, and now they postponed it. Yeah, it's a
We're like,
very
hey,
responsible
great
choice.
skins, but no.
Well, I'm personally very happy about it. I do like the designs of Royal Champion and Villager.
So good.
I do also like, want to make a prediction of like who's next to get a skin within Clash Mini. I'm hoping Pink Fury, because we need some more diversity with Pink Fury. And like, I would love for it to be like a collection of like all the Elixir skins. So like Elixir Golem getting a skin, like Lumberjack getting a skin, Diffuser getting a skin, and like Pink Fury getting the skin, like, bro, Rock Band it up, you know what I'm saying? Then with the mic on the drums, beating it. Oh!
I'm going to throw this out there
Yes.
because you just made me think of something. I'm going to throw this out there. Like you said, a skin set for the Elixir. Dark Elixir.
I was
skin.
gonna say,
Oh my god.
I was gonna say,
Please.
who's gonna hate me for this? But this is the perfect opportunity to just recycle Dark Elixir for all 4 minis.
Yeah, just make them all Dark
Yeah.
Elixir skins. Like, that's
Please.
a 6-skin collection.
And do like the the domain expansion. I don't know what it's called. I just started watching Jujit, that show about the fighting and all stuff, and it's pretty
Naruto?
crazy. No, it's
I think he means
it's
Jujutsu
it's the
Kaisen.
hot guy. It's the hot guy with the white hair, and he's like sparkly eyes, and he's like, what's good? And I'm like, who is this enchanting cosplayer over here? Enchant's here. Oh my god, the big value. Oh my god, how you doing? Wait, he's on his phone.
What's up?
Wait, where are you, Enchantin? Are you like on the train?
No, is it loud?
No,
No, it shows you're on mobile.
he's just wondering.
Yeah, no, I'm on mobile. I'm just out and about.
Okay.
About to go grocery shopping, if you must know.
Ooh, you need shop for. You have your coupon book to get that value. You know what I'm saying?
Going to that Trader Joey's.
Yeah, let's go. That 2 for 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get 2 cereal boxes. I got my $1 off coupon. You can tell the cash register right in your face. Yeah, that's right. I'm getting that big value.
Oh my god.
I do love a sale.
Hey, yo, it's what we do, baby. Hey, yo, preview.
Hey, Go
Yeah.
ahead. I was just gonna make a joke.
Yeah, what's cool?
What's happening, bro? I haven't heard from you in a couple minutes.
Yeah, everything is fine. I wanted to say that I think that in update 8.5, I personally think that we can get 3 minis, like for example for each season, because each update lasts for 3 months. So why not to release 1 mini each month? I think it's kind of logical.
I mean, that's what really bugged me about last update. Like they released like 14 minis at once.
Yeah.
You would think they would release them gradually during the last update, but maybe they could do that this update. That would be great. Like gradually release them.
Yeah,
well,
and maybe
yeah.
a few new skins and changes to the economic system, as everyone thinks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
here's why I think it would have been a terrible idea to release them once a month. And I think how they did it was the only way to do it. Because let's just say they released it once a month and they have the collector page the same way it is. You'd be pretty much just getting keys in possible positions where you could have gotten minis that were released 2 months from now. So you actually have a better chance of getting more minis faster unlocked in the collection level the way that they did it. And that's why I think they did it like that, because, you know, right now, let's just say next month Sharkbait would be released. Like you'd have, you know, you'd just be getting keys up until then. What would you be doing? Waiting, saving up all of your collection levels to, you know, potentially get like a apprentice monk or something? That's, I mean, they were kind of stuck in a bad situation there, and I think they did the best thing they could.
I mean,
It would
that's
also
why they
force you to
reworked
unlock.
it. Kind of.
It would also force you to unlock the minis in a specific order, which I also don't think they want.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it will be kind of strange not to release any content for next 2 months after the update release.
I mean, it's not like we haven't been through that like 8 different times.
Yes, but I mean, we're in a stage where Clash Mini should be in a global state, kinda. Because if the game will still not release content during these periods, like for 2 months after the update release, I think that's a bad thing, because we need more content. Because Clash Mini is a game where you need something new every month.
Yeah, I think what probably a good like middle ground between that would be a new SP unit every month, whether it's a hero or minis, and then if they have more minis to introduce, then they can do that in batch. And one thing that I feel like Clash Mini will get to the point, which is actually really interesting to me and something I actually applaud TFT for, is every like set, like when they do a new set, they actually rotate the characters that are in the game. So if Clash Mini gets to a point where there's so many different characters, they could do one season, it has like mages are vaulted, and then in the next season rogues are vaulted and mages come back, and they can do something
Underlords,
like that, and have it come through. And once they get to a point where there's that many characters in the game, they could probably do that and make it more enticing, because then it kind of gets people back in to the game, because then it's not the same thing every single season, it's something new every season in terms of gameplay.
If I remember correctly, I think that Frame said that they discussed this idea, but because some players could, for example, unlock skins for these minis, and then they are locked for a few months, then these players will be upset because they can't play the skins they got.
Yeah, it could just be for like ladder mode. Like if there's a competitive mode, like if they do like a Path to Legends or something, or like that skin is or like those characters are, or only a certain amount of characters are available on like ladder, but then they can be playable in like rumbles or in events or in other game mode or in friendly battles. Like everything is still accessible, but it's just like on that competitive season, then it would just be like a certain amount, a certain set of minis and everything like that. Like that, I feel like that could be a good middle ground.
I feel like the UI would be literally hell to figure out.
Just hire a waterfall.
As far as what?
No, I mean, like, how would you show
I mean, it's just
what
it's
minis
just a
are
bar.
available in this ladder
A
season?
bar that says like X this many, X that many. Doesn't seem that.
I mean,
difficult.
I mean, they kind of have it right now with Rumbles too, because like Rumbles, it doesn't.
Oh yeah, true.
Like Rumbles, there's no mini UI when you select that in the menu. It just shows the hero. There's no minis.
No,
So
you
if
have,
everything was,
You
Go
have
ahead.
like all the available minis and heroes in like one page, right? You could do that with the competitive mode.
Yeah, and it's just like here's what's available this season. So when you select that game mode, it's like here's what's available.
One
So
thing,
the UI kind of already exists. Like it probably needs to be polished, but it kind of already
Yeah.
exists.
yeah, one thing about like competitive mode you mentioned. I think that in Clash Mini it will be very good to have like something like Mega Draft from Clash Royale as a competitive mode, because in my opinion, Clash Mini is the game where like a lot of skill you need to create a good deck, and if you create deck like at the same time as your opponent creates deck, and you choose minis like after your opponent, it can be a very skillful thing. Like,
Mhm.
and for example, you see the page with all minis, all heroes, and as you like said, they can disable one class from picking for 1 month.
Yep.
I think
Yeah, I think
just
that'd be a great mode.
a new mode in general, but a consistent new mode, like not an event, but something outside of just regular ladder is probably the biggest thing in my opinion that the game needs right now, because outside of just like grinding your quest, grinding your, event, whatever it is, you kind of get to a point where you get hard like soft locked and the progression doesn't feel fun. So there needs to be something when you get to that point where you go, you know what, I need to blow off steam. Let's go to this fun mode that's always here, that's not like a timed
Yeah.
event thing.
I think 2v2 mod will be great for this.
I want to see the big board come back with 2v2, and each player selects one hero.
Yeah,
Each player brings 4 minis, and then there's 2 heroes
Yeah.
and 8 minis on the board,
yeah.
and it's just like 5 rounds and just 5 wins to win the game, and just let people have fun with it. I feel like that's coming. Like I feel like enough people have requested it where they're probably thinking about how to make that happen, and I would imagine it's probably not coming in this next update, but like if the game goes global, then that would be like a game mode for them to introduce.
Yeah, I can see that be
God,
like
I would love
global
I
kind
would
of thing.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it'd also be nice just to have like just like more deck synergies. I watched Elijah's video and Z's video regarding like the 6 synergy, like playing all 6 synergies. So I think that in like a 2v2 you can activate every single synergy in the game. I think that makes some really funny content, and also some great deck suggestions. Because like everything will be joined together. It's like one big synergy. But speaking about synergies, how do you guys honestly feel about the current power levels of synergies? Do you guys think it's too strong? Do you think it's warping the game? Do you guys think it's better for the game or ruining the game? I really just want to get y'all's opinion on this.
They need to be nerfed.
Too
yeah,
strong.
they need
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
nerf.
I think
Like-
it's
Yeah, I
awful
think it's
and
too
it's
strong.
killing game. to be honest.
It's ruining the game for me, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I feel like it is just because you can really create decks with it. Like, let's say I want to try some new decks, I have to use synergies because synergies right now are so overpowered that I have to use them. They're almost like guaranteed kind of win. Like the Pink Fury deck with all elixirs, like that synergy is pretty good, as well as like the Waymaster, the C synergy, and all that. So you can really versatilize a deck. You can't really use something else because you're kind of forced to use synergies in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, like I understand what they're going for with like synergies are made, or like the classes are made to be like a guide for players, right? Like if you're downloading the game and you're just like, oh, like I need to figure out how to create a deck. Oh, well, this class seems pretty good. I want this class buff. So it kind of like guides new players into creating decks. But I think they're just like, they're too oppressive and too strong, and they're too meta warping. So I like the thought behind them in terms of like helping new players like figure out how to craft decks, but they're just way too strong.
I
Definitely
think
back like in update 8 or update 6, there used to be a strat I used to love to play, which was like Ewiz and Healing Ranger. Ewiz being able to give Healing Ranger the +2 energy. She's able to cast Unstoppable on like 3 or 4 minis at the start of battle. Like I genuinely do miss that, especially when you have mages running around, when you have like that's shocking the board every couple of seconds. It's basically, I don't know. I don't like mages right now, but like the main thing is like, I really do miss the like the inclusion of like Mega Knight, for instance. Like he's only locked as just like a Royale unit. Like I would love to see some minis actually be stripped away from their synergies, like just make them like Giant, for instance. I don't think Giant really needs the clan buff. I feel like you should revert him back to having plus 15 after every round, but just make him a synergyless mini. It's okay for some minis to just not rock a synergy, and I feel like he'd be like, they'd be strong on themselves. They'd be strong as themselves. Legends of Runeterra, it's a card game, a strategy card game by Riot. They've started introducing cards that are like synergyless. Like normally you have to pair up two different races, and you can play these other cards that don't even have anything to do with the other races. So I feel like it would be nice to see that kind of inclusion to the game, or just nerf synergies by like 50% or maybe by 60%. I think again it would prove that 4 synergy decks that currently warp the game right now, as FF says, as Elijah says, as Previac said, and Abdu said, it right now it's warping the game. And I feel like that there's only like 4 strong decks, or like right now it's only like 2 strong decks right now with Wavemaster 4 Riders and it's like mages right now. Is that it? So I haven't played the game in like 12
SK
SK
hours.
Undead.
There's multiple. There's not only
There's
2
the Parking
the
Rangers one as
thing.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Archer
here's the thing though about what you just said. You contradicted yourself because
Okay, go ahead.
synergies have nothing to do with the meta right now. 4 Rider with Wavemaster has nothing to do with synergies. It literally just has to do with the fact that you're going to win round number 1 because Headhunter is way too broken, and that's the only reason why that deck is so strong, because most other heroes are melee heroes, and you just line up your Headhunter right with the hero, and they have to move their hero. And then you have Hog Rider, Prince, Dark Prince, wherever that hero goes, he's not safe. So what you guys are saying about synergies, I understand they are too strong, but in this current meta right now, synergies are the weakest thing in my opinion, because the only thing that is super, super strong right now is 4 Rider Wavemaster. Everything else I would say is like A tier or below. That is like S tier, S plus tier. So I think it's more of the fact that synergies, like, let's just say mages, right? There's a mage synergy right now, 4 mages. I think everybody can agree that's not that great, right? Like comparatively. You have clan, not that great. I mean, rogue 4 synergy, not that great. I mean, every 4 synergy right now isn't that great. I mean, specialist was great, and then they nerfed it, and now it's kind of balanced. So I almost don't agree with the fact that synergies are too strong. However, I do think that there needs to be a 3 synergy so that you have the option to have multiple synergies, right? So right now, if you have Dark Prince, right, that activates a lot of different decks. It activates Royal and Ranger. You're able to get 4 and 4. Right now, you're not able to really get, if you're a free-to-play player or somebody who doesn't have expensive minis, you're not able to get 2 4 synergies in the same deck setup. So I think it's very important for us to be able to do that with deck creation, whether that be heroes having 2 synergies, every single one of them, or whether that be more minis having double synergy. Right now, I think the main situation that we have is there's just certain minis in the game that are super broken and overpowered, mainly because either A, they have 2 synergies, or B, they just are almost pay to winish, to where you have to spend a lot onto the game right now to achieve them, and that's kind of warping the meta. That's just my opinion on that. I don't think right now synergies are super broken, because not 1 4 synergy, in my opinion right now, is super strong inside of the game.
I agree with that. I agree with that to an extent.
I mean, the
don't
thing
think
is,
there should be free synergy minis though, because one of the problems I have.
No. He didn't mean 3 synergies. He meant like 3, like an option. Like if there's 3 of one synergy, then there's a buff for that too. So it'd be like
So
2 of that clan activates the buff, 3 of that class activates the buff, and then 4 of that class. He didn't mean like one unit with like 3 different classes on it.
And that would be crazy.
that'd be broken.
I mean, realistically, if you throw 4 Riders out of the window, we will still have a meta revolving around synergies. So
I agree.
that doesn't
Doesn't
really
matter on
mean
meta
that
right
much.
now. Yeah.
It's
And
it's
I
something
also
right now that's
think
holding
the other
everything
thing
back.
with the 4 riders too is like the reason 4 riders with the Wave Master is so strong
The
right now
attack
specifically is what you mentioned. But yeah, the attack speed buff that the riders provide after that
Yes.
for units after casting their ability, Headhunter gets the 40% attack speed buff, Wave Master gets the 40% attack speed buff, and then Sailor also gets a
Sailor.
40% attack speed buff. So it's
Yeah.
like those things specifically with that deck causing them
I was
to
gonna
be able
say,
to
if you
get
took out
that
that
big of a
synergy,
percentage.
that deck would drop out.
Yeah.
I think it would. Yeah.
So like
So it's not just
that
the Clash.
that 4 rider buff is what makes that deck so overpowered. Because like you said, you automatically get a win on round 1.
Yeah.
That part definitely agree with. But then once you get the 4 rider, and it forces the hero to move. So it's just like the combination of the Headhunter being oppressive, forcing the hero to move, but then also everything else just getting an attack speed buff because of the 4 rider buff.
Yep.
Yeah, one more thing.
So,
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So one more thing I don't like right now is that all hard carries are in legendary set. Like you need to be in legendary set to have good minis to play with. Otherwise, like minis from set 1 to set 4, they're kind of useless. They're supports, not carries, and that is kind of bad for I think.
I mean, it's just a balance issue. I think the team just values the minis at higher stats more. Like, if you look at most metas right now, like if you don't count the Royal Ghost stuff, most of the OP minis are like the SP minis, the super high up minis, and yeah, I think they are just. I don't know if this is intentional, but it feels like they're really trying to push people to use like those very high end minis.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
only
forgetting
one
that-
deck that's not. There's only one deck that you don't need in Legendary for, and that's BK4 Rangers. And even then, it's
I
not like
think
that
Xiaoming-
OP of a
If
deck.
you're
It's
lucky
just
enough
a
to get
good
Magic
deck.
Archer.
Yeah, Xioming probably forgot that Royal Ghost is also a legendary mini.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that just proves that point even more. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think
a
that-
big problem.
They definitely
One thing I
need
will
to
say-
have lower tiered minis be hyper carries in this game so that you are able to, let's just say, like Dark Goblin, right? Dark Goblin is a perfect example. That mini is the most useless mini now almost in a lot of matches. They have Royal, or if they have anything like that, it does 1 damage a shot. I don't care how fast it attacks. If you're only doing 1 damage a shot on something that has 90 HP, you're not going to kill it forever. And I think they need to bring back carries like Dark Goblin where you unlock it early to where you're able to build decks around those so that you're able to, be able to carry with them. And I think that is a big thing that you're saying, Shuey, that they need to have better minis earlier unlocked so that people are able to build better decks.
Yeah, I mean, even in if you go to like set 1, set 2, there's not really any of those carry minis that we would expect. Like if you look at it, there's Barbarian, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Spirit Goblin. None of them are really like the carry minis that you would expect. I think they should rearrange the sets maybe if that's possible, just to add a bit of balance to it. I don't know if that affects the progression that much, but I think we should get some more of the carry minis towards lower sets.
The crazy thing is some of the minis you just mentioned are like pseudo carries, because Mini P.E.K.K.A at one point was a hard carry.
Yeah.
Mini P.E.K.K.A can be a hard carry. Archer can be a hard carry. Miner can be a hard carry, especially right now with its isolation. Miner can be very, very good. So it's it's almost like these earlier sets have pseudo carries that can be solid, but yeah, it's definitely a majority of the carries you're gonna find are gonna be legendary.
Yeah, just like Battle Boxer, like a lot of your 5 elixir minis are in the legendary set. And actually, FF and I can probably talk on this because we both have free to play accounts. Right now, I don't know how many trophies you're at FF right now, but I'm at 2,300. I just got my 5 golden keys. But basically, I cannot push whatsoever with any deck because of the fact I don't have Apprentice Monk. Apprentice Monk is one of the minis. Yeah, well, I want to play real, because I record content a lot, and I just want to show off one deck every single video, and also I want Countess back. But the main thing is like so like say for instance like if I'm playing like a Archer Queen, for instance, like Archer Queen 4 Rangers, the fact that Prince cannot stop Fisherman is kind of nuts. Even though it's in the very front line, it has to be Dark Prince. Dark Prince is able to stop the Fisherman pull, but not regular Prince. That's just something that's kind of been on my mind. I hope that they implement a fix where Prince does cancel out that clash, just because that's something that's really truly holding back Archer Queen 4 Rangers. Because other than Dark Prince and other than Apprentice Monk, I cannot play Archer Queen efficiently without always having that fear of losing that matchup because my Archer Queen gets yeeted to another side of the map.
For that to change, they need to change the sets, right? Because sets now determine the speeds.
It does, and I feel like that needs to be moved down. Just a tad. I'm not asking for Archer Queen to be the best hero in the game because she certainly does have her niches. But in situations like that, I feel like that Prince, especially when you're spending 4 elixir to counter 3 elixir clash, it should take precedence. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think an easy fix for that is just put them in the same set. Oh, they are in the same set.
They are, yeah.
So how does Prince not cancel Fisherman in
They
the
have
front
to
row?
same
go off
time.
at the same
right now.
time. Well,
Because they
yeah,
go
no,
off
it
at the
should-
same time, yeah.
if it goes off at the same time, the Fisherman's always going to hook first because the Prince has to move a tile.
Oh, the both clashes just happen at the same time, so it gets hooked. Okay.
Yep, but Archer Queen
Yeah.
still gets yeeted to the back corner. It still gets yeeted. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, well, there goes all the rest of my Rangers just right behind Archer Queen. She's not able to get the buff, and now there's vulnerable. Now there's 3 seconds down. I'm like, okay, well, this has been fun.
Yep. Yeah. I
What do
gotta
you guys
jump
think of?
to another call,
okay.
but I'll talk to you
See you later,
guys
FF.
later. See you
Talk to
guys
you later.
Yeah.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Now we're going to talk about the best female in Clash Mini since FF is gone. I've been waiting for this the entire
Shut
time.
up.
No.
Here we go again.
No, yeah. So okay. Anyways, so the thing, like, I kind of want to bring up when in chat was talking to all of us, and we have a group chat that we about. In chat, do you mind if we talk about it about riders?
Sure.
Okay, so Enchanton was he was yapping, like all of us, we yap a lot, but Enchanton brought up like probably one of the best points I have ever seen within Clash Mini. He has a really good take of just making all riders 4 elixir. I kind of want to know how the rest of the people in this call kind of agree or disagree, or with how the chat right now agrees or disagrees with making 4 riders. That Synergy by itself, or just making all riders like Sailor, Hog Rider, Dark Prince, and Prince all 4 elixir. What do you guys think?
What I want to hear an explanation. I must miss that conversation. Why do you want to make them all 4 elixir?
Well, sure, you've been dead for like a month. Expecting you to
I'm
catch
sorry.
So what I said,
Sorry, is that
was,
it's blind
let's
text.
rephrase what I said. I said
Okay.
put the Sailor at 4 elixir so that you're not able to have Sailor and Headhunter in the same round 1, so that if you are playing a heavy rider deck, you're not going to win round 1 because you're not going to be able to have the Sailor and the Headhunter together. And when you're behind running a rider deck, you're in trouble because you never want to be behind. Because if you lose round 1, they can pressure you, then you lose round 2, then you have to play your riders, because if you lose round 3, the game is over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of do agree with you on that. But do you think it's also just because Sailor is the C Synergy Mini, and you're able to get the Clash ability, like pretty much you're able to get Headhunter's ability part of battle because of the 2 C Synergy. Do you think it should be that Sailor should be 4 elixir, or just this meta that Headhunter should get an energy nerf? Like it should 3 energy for her to cast.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think
to answer
Headhunter,
that-
Headhunter is weak.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to answer that, just try the 4 rider deck without Wavemaster, and you will know.
Yeah, Headhunter is a super weak mini. It's just round 1 with C. It will always almost win you that round if they don't have it. And then, like, winning round number 1 is too important right now in Clash Mini. And I think that also is something that needs to kind of change, because how it kind of goes is you're going to win round 1, you're going to lose round 2, you're going to win round 3, and then all of a sudden round 4 comes along and your opponent has to play all their minis while you can save minis. And I think there needs to be almost an even level playing field in round 1, so that there's no super hyper advantage, right? Because like a Headhunter with C is like really ridiculously strong.
I know we have moved past
it is
it,
very
but
strong.
going back, I would argue that 4 Riders is still strong with Countess, with Warden. I
Mhm.
mean, it's every hero.
Definitely with
Yeah.
world champion, like definitely. Yeah, I definitely do agree. That 40% extra attack speed per ability is pretty nutso. It is pretty nuts, especially like especially when you have like a countess with first star, like dealing extra damage to extra allies. She relies on that attack speed. She relies on an anti-heal, and she's able to just teleport over to another side of the map. Sailor only have a 2 energy per super. She just gets faster and faster and faster, and she gets that on Clash, like with Wave Master with the 2C synergy. But she has like a permanent percent buff. I mean, at least how I see it. I really don't play Sailor all that often. I kind of like try to avoid to play Sailor. I try to avoid to play Dark Prince. I'm more or less just playing like Deco Adept and Hog Rider. But I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion, especially you, Elijah, because you're up around like the top 100, top 50, right?
No, not anymore. I mean, I was pushing up there a little bit, but I was pushing with anything except Wave Master Riders because I refuse, and obviously tilted.
And you're playing Battle Machine now, aren't you?
No, I was playing Grand Warden.
Grand Warden? What? Word? Okay, I see you.
To be honest, I think that first of all they should nerf all synergies, all classes, and then they need to buff set 1, set 2, and set 3 minis. And only after these actions they should think about like nerfing riders. Because I think that if they nerf all synergies and C synergy, it can solve the issue with these minis being overpowered.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think the root problem, I still think it is synergies. So if you nerf synergies, that gets sort of a lot of problem. And another problem is that because now not in this meta maybe, but in previous metas like those set 1 minis you would use just for the synergy, right? Like Dagger Thrower, for example, in the Archqueen meta, you use him for the Ranger class. You don't use him for the ability. You use him because he's a cheap mini in the Ranger class. And if you strip that away from him, he becomes even weaker. So I think we need to give these minis some strength on their own, and so they don't have to rely on the synergy. And I just think that this kind of dynamic of a mini being there just because of the synergy, it feels kind of wrong, like a mini should be there because of their strength, not because of the synergy they're in.
Yes, like the root problem is that they try to make set 1 minis useless at all. Like, I don't know why. That's kind of strange because like Barbarian has the worst class in the game and his abilities are awful and he's just not useful at any deck. He's just like, I don't know, he's very bad.
Well, here's the thing about the Barbarian, believe it or not, the Barbarian is super OP when he's low HP, so they just need to change his base ability to like 5% attack speed per attack, and he would actually be viable. Because he does attack super fast. He attacks almost like 3 to 4 like attacks per second, with 3 damage at 3 stars. However, he just gets cleared out before he's able to do anything. I think they need to focus and prioritize on making the minis like viable. Like they're right now, like what they're trying. I think they're just trying to make sure that the minis never are great on their own, and that's something that I don't like, especially for the earlier sets, like everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. There is something that I started thinking about. Does the Barbarian lose his speed if he gets healed?
Yes,
I
it's
would
based
think
off
so,
of
yeah.
HP.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I thought I was into something, but never mind.
I
look
was gonna say,
immune.
I was looking at this early season. You can't just heal them and then like lower it and heal them.
Retain that buff. That'd be nice. That'd be dude like battle healer. Well, as long as there's no anti heal. That's level 3 battle healer, Barbarian level 3. Bam, 20 million views right there, and just watch them just stack up all the way.
Yeah,
God, this is a content machine.
The sad fact is that it could work if we didn't have synergies, because of the synergies we just can't make such decks where all the minis from the different classes. We need to use
if 2 of the synergies
combos
don't
that
connect, if they don't connect, then you basically can't pair them together.
Yeah.
Like at least you can't get a 4 unit synergy and pair them together. That's the thing that really sucks that it limits it so much.
Would it be helpful if every mini had okay, just random number. If every mini had 3 synergies, then like Spoop said, he likes Healing Ranger and Electro Wizard, or used like, but now they don't match at all. So even if they didn't share classes, there would be a lot of other minis, and they would kind of cross over because everyone kind of connected eventually
That
somehow.
could work. I think that would just be overcomplicated. Like,
I was just
imagine
saying, I would
having
argue,
5
like,
of each
what's the point
synergy
of
on the board and
synergies?
everything.
Mm,
I think
I mean,
I would argue,
still,
what's the point of synergies if you're going to have the same, if you're going to be able to activate synergies, like the same ones every single deck, no matter what minis you use, because there's so many, you know?
That's true.
yeah, exactly. I think it defeats the purpose, kind of.
Well, the thing about synergies is in every single game that has synergies, classes, and however you want to name it, it's pretty much to give a structure to what you're building. So I think the whole thing that everybody's trying to argue about how you're kind of locked into one deck, that is kind of the entire point of the
Yes.
synergies. In every game, I have never seen one game who didn't have this, to where it's like you are playing, like if you're playing TFT, right, like Spoos mentioned before, if you're playing a game like Teamfight Tactics, you're literally building a deck based around one synergy and then micro synergies underneath that help it out. But like you're mainly going either a bruiser or, you know what I mean, you're mainly going a synergy that is your primary one. And I don't think that is a bad thing.
Yeah.
However, I do think that they could have synergy-less minis that could supplement these decks. So let's just say, like a barbarian, right? Let's take off the clan, buff it up high, give it another like 20 HP, take away the clan synergy, and make it a standalone mini. Like, you know, somebody mentioned, I think Giant as well. Make it a Swoop did, just make it a standalone mini that could help supplement these decks, because there is sometimes where you get a 4 synergy and then you can get a 2 synergy and then you kind of have another mini where it's just like, what do I do now with this guy? He doesn't really fit in anywhere. Like, I think if we had a couple of minis in the game that are super strong non-synergy minis, I think that would also help as well.
Yeah.
I mean, does
Yeah,
Team
I
Type
agree.
Tactic, how many characters do you like go on the battle on? Like Clash Mate, there are 6. How many is there in?
No, you
There's
start with
9,
0.
I believe, right?
You can go up to 9.
Well, it's
9,
either
okay.
it's either 9 or 10.
Well, you
It's either
could-
9 or 10. It just all depends on how
can-
you upgrade your economy. It's like
Yeah,
it's all based on economy, right? You can go up to 10 levels as long as you use your economy correctly, because every single round you're given like I think 5 credit, then you have interest, then you have win streak or lose streak. Man, on top of that, oh my god, I love Team Tactics. I want to go play it, guys. Wait, I'll stay. Sorry.
One thing that I
Yeah,
wanted
that's-
to mention about
Go ahead.
classes and decks, like in each and every other auto battler game, you don't have decks. You create your like combo while you're playing in each round. And in Clash Mini, you can create your deck before going into the game. So to be honest, I don't think that synergies like is a good idea for Clash Mini maybe at all, because the main point of synergies in other games to help you to create like combos from the characters that you get randomly in the shop.
You know what I really like? You remember when the Archer had the 3rd star, where like when he gets an attack buff, he also gets an attack speed buff. I love these kind of not synergies. They don't limit you, but it's just kind of like subtle synergies that don't really limit you, but still like enhance your gameplay. Like for example, Ward and Shield, right? You would use the Guard with it because Guard has Shield as well. I think those kind of synergies, quote unquote synergies, I think those are the ones that I really, really like. Like, you cannot use them, but if you use them, it will still benefit you. I think those are the ones that I really like, and I wish they would bring them back, really.
No, but like if you go by that logic, then Archer is only usable in Barbarian King deck. We don't want stuff like this, because like
It's not only
you
usable,
remember
you just
how
not up to the
Archer and
star.
Barbarian, I mean Archer and Barbarian were only a Barbarian King minis, which kind of like kills variety.
I think that is just Archer being insane during that meta. I think it could
No,
work.
but it's, I mean, that's still the same idea, but to an extreme level. But like basically, if you're gonna go like to the top gameplay, no one's gonna use Archer outside of Barbarian King. Why? Because there would be other minis that would benefit more in that same slot.
Yeah, but you could go on a different direction with the mini. It's just a star ability. You could choose to maybe just have a base archer and then bring someone else in there and rely on that as well.
I mean, without synergies, base archer is basically useless. Like, there's no point to getting a base archer.
I think without
that's a balance issue,
synergies,
really.
you go back to the issue of RNG, rock, paper, scissors. You queue into against a deck and you just know you've lost the moment you've run into it. I think synergies alleviates a lot of that issue. It can create the same issue as well, but I think synergies alleviates the rock paper scissors issue more than it creates it, in my opinion. I think that's why synergies is so helpful to the game. So like for example, you're running Grand Warden, and instead of running Ewiz and running like mages, you run a C synergy. You still get that initial energy boost, but now you can run Sharkbait and you can have access to backline. So like stuff like that's like you're rewarded for mixing up your deck, but you can still access the same quote unquote like synergies or initial boosts that you would gain from other minis.
Yeah, I think the main thing that Clash Mini has, and it's every game, has this exact same issue, whether that be Clash Royale or, games like that, to where you have no idea who A, you're going up against, or B, what hero they are even going to be running. And that's really the core problem that we're never going to be able to fix, ever. That's why if you're playing like a Clash Mini tournament, right? We just had CM Worlds, a Clash Mini tournament where you can kind of gauge the 2 or 3 heroes that your opponent was going to play. We saw great games almost every single time. Round 5s, it came down to, movement of minis here and there. And I think that's just something you're never going to be able to fix on a Clash Mini ladder, just because the more heroes that come into the game, the more diverse it's going to become, right? There's going to be, if there's 12 heroes, one hero is going to counter another one just inherently, right? Like there's just no way around that. Like a monk is going to lose to a archer queen. I wouldn't say every time, but if you're not prepared to deal with an archer queen as a monk player, you're going to lose every time. And I think that's the issue that Clash Mini has, and I just don't think that's an issue that can be solved no matter what, because you're always going to lose to a certain amount of decks. And unless you have like the super overpowered like minis or units or heroes at that time, right? If everything is balanced, you're going to have a meta to where it's almost rock, paper, scissors. And there's almost nothing you can do about that because you have no idea who you're going to queue up against the moment you press battle.
Yes, I do agree with Enchanting. I think that Clash Mini is the game where we'll always have rock, paper, scissors situations. It's like it can be fixed in the default or ladder. I think that they need to create another like skillful game mode like Mega Draft, as I already said, because it only draft can solve this issue.
It's kind of like it does bring me up to a question, and I really hate asking this every single time we do this, but as us creators, we've been making content for a year, probably a year plus. I know Dude, myself and Chatting like 2 years plus, Shuiming 2 years plus, Previac 2 years, like a lot of us, what are the chances, and I hate always asking this, but what are your guys' thoughts of Clash Mini going global in this state? Like, for right now, for how hard the team is working, for all the feedback that we give them, for as much work as they're putting in, if it does end up going global, how long of a lifespan do you think that we'll have given these inconsistencies that we have in ladder? I'm very curious, and I really want you guys' honest opinion.
I mean, when Clash Royale went global, Clash Royale had still a lot of problems, like way more than we have in Clash Mini right now. Like they have a lot of major stuff that isn't addressed yet. I think they could just slowly, gradually change it over years and become like a great game. Like Brawl Stars is only hitting peak now, which is crazy after 5 years, right? I think like it depends on the team, right? If they decide to go in the Clash Royale route, they could just die off very quickly. I'm gonna give them like 5 years. That feels a bit short, but I just say 5 years.
Okay.
So
No, I
answer
appreciate
your
the honesty.
question. I'm going to answer your question, Spoop, how you asked it.
Go ahead.
To where in the
Yeah.
current state right now, if it goes global, how long would it take for players to put down the game? I would say, as far as content is concerned, I would say it would take them at least 6 months. Currently, exactly how it is right now. Because with your collection, you have a free to play account. I also have a free to play account. As I'm just playing, I'm unlocking new things every week. I feel like I'm unlocking a new mini. Every week, I feel like I'm unlocking another another way to play the game with this new mini. So I'm going to be testing it out. So I think as far as that's concerned, they do have the Rumble, they do have the Duel. You got clans, and if you think about from our first time that we picked up this game, you would say you had about 3 months before you got bored of just playing just duels, right? So,
Yeah.
and that was with minis, how they work. So I would say we have at least 6 months now before a new player, let's just say 5 to 6 months before a new player is going to really put it down. And I think in that 5 to 6 months, let's just say if the team decides to somehow unlock like a 2v2, right? If they release something like that, or if they release a new game mode, that's going to give it another 2 to 3 months on top of that 5 months, 6 months. So now you're looking at least 8 months of burn time before you have to come up with something else. Like if we look at Clash Royale, how that happened, Clash Royale was unique because it was the first of its kind like that. It started to blow up. But what really blew Clash Royale up was the in-game tournament update. That took it to another level. Now, how in-game tournaments were, they weren't that great, they weren't that polished. However, it was just a new game mode inside of the game that gave it about 4 months of 5, I would say 4 to 6 months extra time. Then what happened after that? It was the Grand Challenge update. That right there made the game explode. So now all of a sudden you're looking at Clash Royale lasting 2 years just based off of tournaments and grand challenges. And I think even if Clash Mini just copied that, right? I don't think they are going to, but let's just say if they copied that kind of format, I think they would easily be able to have 2 years just based off of research that we have of what Clash Royale did and how it did become successful. Now, I don't think they're going to be implementing things like that, but we also can take Brawl Stars, for example, the multiple game modes that Brawl Stars have. We can also add that to Clash Mini as well, on top of what Clash Royale did. And now you're going to have 4 years of content just based off of that, adding a new game mode every 6 months, every 8 months, 2v2. Bam. That's going to give you another 6 months. Then only heroes. Only heroes. You're not allowed to play any mini. Only heroes that are all unlocked for you in this one game mode. You're able to just play them. Crazy things like that. Mega Draft. Bam, another one that has its own separate ladder. You're going to have another 6 months of burn for the game. So I think there's just so much potential. However, the way the game is stated right now, and I think clan raids are going to come back at some point. They might be completely different or whatever. But you also have that they've tried and they can obviously improve heavily in the future. But I mean, that's going to give you another 3-4 months. So I think that Clash Mini right now, if it was to go global, I think they have a solid 2-year plan of what they can do that can easily make this game great, just based off of other Supercell games that have already been successful. They have all of that data already that other games have that they can implement. So I think that we're going to have at least 2 years worth of Clash Mini being great. But then after that, they're going to need to figure it out. Other games tried, there have been big fails that other games have done, with huge updates that have not hit the mark, that hopefully that we would just need to avoid in Clash Mini.
Yeah, I think events will be a big investment for Clash Mini to add. Like, imagine if you have like 10 unique game modes in the event and they rotate like every week, like you will be getting something new like that you haven't seen for like the last 2 or 3 months. I think that would be like a very good way to actually increase retention and really get people back in the game. I think that would be a big help.
To be honest, I think that we survived the point where Clash Mini could be closed, because update 9 will be in a few weeks, I think, because season will be ended. So I personally think that like they can go global after they fix economy problem, but in my opinion, right now Clash Mini has like one of the biggest problems. Like one of the biggest problems for me is the balancing. Because for example, if I want to play a new event mode, for example, let it be Draft Duel, I will only choose Skeleton King or Wave Master because only with these heroes I can win. And then this event became a bad, not interesting mod at all because I always need to pick only Skeleton King or Wave Master. That's not interesting at all, and it works with each and every event that we had before. So I think that they really need to focus on balancing things, and for example, tiles, hero promotions, all this stuff, because I think that game right now is not interesting to play in long term because of how bad balancing is each time. I don't know what they should do, but right now I don't like the way they balance the game at all.
Can I point out something about what you said about the Skeleton King and the Monk? I think
Yeah,
the main problem here
Wave
is
Master.
not
Just kidding.
balancing. Yeah. So basically, the main problem is not balancing. I think draft as a game mode does not work in Clash Mini because, like, think about it. Draft in Clash Royale, you just draft your deck and start a normal game. Draft for Clash Mini, just draft a part of your deck, play some of the match, then draft another part of the deck, then play another match. So, like, if that format wasn't Clash Royale, imagine I drafted Skeleton Army and you drafted Mini P.E.K.K.A. and we started the game. I automatically win that round. There is nothing you can do. So the reason Skeleton King and Monk are broken is because draft as a concept doesn't work in Clash Mini, and they are very good at kind of like 1v1s, so they will always win early rounds and would give you like a 2 point lead, which is pretty much like an auto win in Clash Mini.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think, yeah, that's true. And by
Yeah,
the way,
I think
Yeah.
one more problem about events, I think that they should completely rework the system, how it works. Because this event pass, it's not interesting at all. Pushing event medals is not interesting at all too. I think they need to come up with something more engaging and interesting.
well that's
I'm gonna
why
give you guys.
I've
go ahead.
I've been completely against how this draft is because since Clash Royale implemented this kind of style back in the day, I hated it. I've always hated it. I've always said, please put in how Hearthstone has their arena mode to where you build your deck before before you even go into any game, and then you queue up versus other people who have also built their deck, and then you have a certain amount of lives with that deck. So that way you're able to learn and adapt with the deck that you build throughout, and the more wins you get with that deck, the higher the prizing will be. I think one of the big things and the big concerns that I have is I want to be rewarded if I play better with the deck that I make. And I think that is something that I enjoy. I might be in the minority here, but I enjoy if I'm going to create a deck, if I'm going to take this time to create a deck, with what you give me as like a draft, I want to be rewarded somehow. And I feel like if I'm able to play this deck over and over again, and as I get better with the deck, the more wins I get with the deck without, let's just say, 3 losses, 4 losses, however many you want to have, I get more rewards based off of that. I feel like it's more rewarded. And for me, learning how to play this draft deck that I just built instead of just going into a game, drafting, and then the game's over and then you have to just draft again, where you could just lose based off of what you draft and it's a miserable experience.
FF, welcome back.
Hello.
Actually, the community. Do you guys have anything you want to add? Like, is there anything we're missing? I mean, I don't think
Yo
we
in the chat. I love this. Our community is
Honestly,
just 3
okay,
brain cells.
so the chat has been like asking since we started
I
about
know. Yeah,
adding more
we're
to the
sorry.
trophy road. Yeah. They want more to the trophy road than like what we have at 3K. And interestingly, I was like browsing Reddit the other day and saw a thread talking about how pushing trophies beyond 3K is kind of like pointless. what I pointed out is like that's basically the same thing in Clash Royale. Like if in Path of Legends, once you hit Ultimate Champion, any pushing beyond that is useless. But it doesn't matter because people will push for high ranks. So the only reason Clash Mini like people don't push right now is because the game is not global. Pushing is not a flex. But also, I suggested an idea every 100 trophies above 3k trophies we should get a golden key, so like at max we can get like 12 keys if you're like top one. Maybe you could get like 5 golden keys if you're like an above average player. But like I think at the end of the season if you get like a few golden keys for the few hundred trophies you pushed, that's probably like a decent fix to it.
It should
Or
be
like
an epic
a
key. I'm
or
just
like a
gonna say right
badge for
now.
like top 1000, like a badge for top 1000, badge for like your best finish. That could be a nice motivator.
Yeah, it would be okay, but you also have to think about it, guys. You're talking about less than probably 1% of the entire player base,
Yeah.
like for these rewards. So it really isn't gonna do much.
It's a niche
I think
problem.
going back to Spook's question a minute ago, I think the biggest thing for me, outside of I know I mentioned it earlier, about like another event or something just to be doing while you're grinding and trophy pushing and all that has come to a halt. I think outside of that, the biggest thing for me that feels off is progression as a whole, and not not progression, retention as a whole, because it feels like there's 6 different things that they're trying. They've like got their toes in the water, but they haven't committed to, like the dioramas, like the collector level, and the what's it called, toy machine being separate, and then you have events, and then you have but I mean, originally when the big update was pitched, the whole thing was the new retention is going to be cosmetics. It's going to be cosmetics based. We want you to build up your collection of skins and emotes, and it doesn't feel like that. Like it doesn't feel like that's your goal, and it feels like you have like 6 different little goals, and I feel like we need to commit to one. Sorry, my son's yapping. Yeah, I feel like we just need to commit to one.
I think cosmetics is just hard to monetize. Really, I think they're realizing now that cosmetics are really hard to monetize, and they are trying to like do the progression thing as well.
Well,
I mean
don't
that's why they're
monetize
stuck
it
in
then.
limbo.
Like make it a system. Like make it a system that's grindable, but like another avenue to unlock stuff.
I mean, I think it's grindable right now. You can just grind golden keys and buy skins.
You wouldn't though. You would prioritize minis every day. I think you could need like 2 separate systems. I think that's what Elijah is saying. Like one system directly for minis, another system directly for cosmetics. So you don't have to choose your gold keys for either skin or mini.
All right,
Yeah.
so hear me out. The problem is we are talking about how we got 5 SP minis and we're getting like another one in the next update with 0 golden keys as a backlog that we can use. So basically over time as players we will finish all these SP minis and we will start stockpiling golden keys to the point that every SP mini that would get released we would get on day 1 and would still have all like extra golden keys. So we will end up spending golden keys on skins. I promise you that. Like I'm already I think I do have enough keys to get all the SP minis and maybe halfway through the next SP mini.
I mean, yeah, like if let's say if you play for a year, you would have like excess gold key to spend on skins. But what if I want to get a skin 4 months down the line? Like for Brawl Stars, I can use Bling, but I can't get a skin that I want 4 months, 8 months, 9 months in because I feel like I'll be wasting my gold keys instead of getting a new mini. I think that's a problem.
I mean that's
Yeah, but I don't.
okay.
That's a
Okay,
problem.
I can get behind that. But I was gonna
I
say
think
like
that's just
the
monetizing
solution
the game.
maybe, but like I was gonna say maybe the solution would be to include some skins in the SP mini gacha to just randomly get.
But
I
here's
mean,
the thing,
my
though.
my idea has always been just like if there's a gold key machine, anything that you can get a gold key for, just put it in that machine. There's one machine and it has everything, and let the player choose
Yes.
exactly what they want. If they want a mini, let them pick a mini. If they want a skin, let them pick a skin. Once it hits that pity system, it's like, congratulations, you unlocked a reward. Pick what you want.
Yeah, but you'll have
I think
people
people will
crying
still
about.
pick a mini. Like people will still pick mini like every single time because they feel like they will miss progression if they don't.
No
So
one
No,
is
but
they
like-
picking a
can't-
skin.
Yeah.
But let them choose instead of having to pick instead of me wasting skins on my Sheik skins on my mini account, instead of throwing gold keys in there and then deciding, oh, Chompy's really good, I actually want to spend my keys on Chompy. Now if I'm at like 10 pity left for my Sheik skins and it's like, oh, Chompy just got a buff, now I have to spend another 80 keys outside of the 70 I just spent for my skins. And now it's like, oh, now I have to spend another 80 so I can get Chompy instead of just spending, oh, I can get 10 more skins. Chompy got a buff. I decide I want Chompy instead of the skins I've been working towards. And then you just fix that. Like that's the biggest
I
difference.
think
Is
the
like,
big thing is you're going in and out full.
oh no, I stopped talking. Go ahead.
Oh, so the biggest thing that I have with this game is I am totally okay with what they're trying to do as far as their monetizational structure. I just think that if you were going to go this way, it's kind of like how League of Legends is where, you get a hero, you unlock it, that's it, the champion, and that's fine. You get it forever, you play it, you don't need to upgrade it. The only way to upgrade it is cosmetically, right? It doesn't do anything extra in battle or anything like that. However, the one flaw that Clash Mini has with trying to do this is they need to make sure that all of the minis are the same power level. I don't care that Dark Prince is so high. I don't care that Sailor takes forever to get and you have to get so many gold keys. That should be as strong as a Dark Goblin. I don't care. That way you are able to build your deck the way you want to with the minis that you want, and it'll be successful. You need to be able to have, let's just say in Clash Royale, where they had Hog Rider Cycle, okay, one of the first decks that you could pretty much get inside of Clash Royale. That deck was still viable forever in that game. And that's something that Clash Mini needs. It needs to have a beginner deck that's also viable at the highest level of play. And that is something that this game needs if they are going to continue this structure, because I'm sorry, Sailor and Dark Prince being gated so far behind where a free-to-play player isn't going to get that for about like a year is unacceptable for the entire game. It's just unacceptable.
Agreed.
Yep.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem with that, and I'm not saying I disagree, because let me preface with I 1000% agree with everything you just said. The problem with that is that it just kind of throws off, I think, what they want their progression to be, as far as like beginners have that. Like, I think they're fully aware that the beginner minis fall off, and they want that. They want it to be simple, easy to understand for a new player, and then you slowly unlock stronger and better minis that have more complexity. I'm not saying I agree with that, but like that's the progression that they've shown that they wanted.
Yeah, and
think
I mean,
it's just gonna have.
Simple doesn't mean weak. Simple can mean
I
strong
are-
as well.
yeah, and I already told that, like, when they said that in the stage channel that we had after the update dropped, I told them they already contradicted themselves in this update alone, because they're talking about how they want, like, they don't want to have a linear progression, and they want people to be able to unlock things, like, by the sets. Like, they determine sets, but then they contradicted it by in the toy machine, you have to unlock Hog Rider first. Then you can unlock Decoy and Chompy. Then you can unlock Dark Prince and Sailor.
Yeah.
But in the collector level, I have somebody in my clan who is collector level 149 and does not have Villager. Like, that is just stupid. Like, you should not be a high level and have nearly every legendary set and not have a unit from set 3. So, like, they're talking about, like, this parallel of, like, they want to have a linear progression and then they don't want to have a controlled progression, but it's like it's all random. And, like, how are you going to let people, like, if you want people to progress and the idea is to, like, make lower sets weaker, then why can you get to such a high level and not even have those weaker units unlocked? So I think they completely missed the mark, and they kind of like it really felt like they ran in two different directions. It felt like the monetization team wanted to do something else, the game lead wanted to do something, and then the balance wanted to do something. It was like three people who have the same exact end goal went in three different directions. That's what it feels like with this update.
Well, there's just no reason why Archer should not have more damage, Barbarian should not have more damage, Dark Goblin should not have extra damage. There's a 0% reason why the Archer doesn't have 3 to 4 damage. You know, there's a 0% reason why the Dark Goblin isn't at least 3 damage, right? Like, there's no reason. You buffed everybody's HP in the game pretty much, but you left the minis still at 2 to 3, like 2 damage. That's what, to me, I don't care if it's an easy mini to play. It's still exactly the same gameplay. It's still exactly as easy to use. But why are you just making it shit on purpose? You know, it's terrible, almost intentionally terrible. And that's something that's just an easy fix.
Yeah. Balance has been a huge problem since this past update with classes
and previous
introduced
updates too.
like that.
You know, with Wavemaster Bandit, with Rogue Ghost Rangers, with BK2 Elixir, with I mean, like every single like update ever since. Okay, I hate to mention this, but like, you know, when Seth was in charge of update 7 balance, I think we all know, he gave explanations on Twitter on like every single change and like why he felt like those changes are necessary, and I absolutely loved that kind of transparency. I do hope that in the future that like that, you know, the Clash Mini team does expand and there's more focus towards the balancing team versus us creators. I feel like that there should be people who are playtesting, you know, like, and again, Clash Mini balance is only set by like, are we allowed to say like just, you know, just by Donghang? Are we allowed to, oh god, well I just said it, but anyways, if I get in trouble, that's fine. But like it's only set by one person, you know. So I feel like that having more eyes onto the balance team and having more people playtest will definitely make the game better. You know, I feel like that, you know, the first couple days of this change, like with us creators, kind of like, you know, helping out, giving our suggestions, was great. Like, you know, in the first couple of days, and then as the meta kind of like seats itself in, we you know, we started developing some problems, like with Wavemaster 4 Riders Headhunter right now. I feel like that's like the main deck, that and like Skeleton King 4 Undead. But, you know, but every single meta is going to have its problems. Because as Enchanton said, and as Elijah said, and as everyone else said, it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors format. You know, if I'm queuing in as a monk to Archqueen, I'm kind of already in a losing matchup. It's like what, a 30-70 matchup in my opinion. But the main thing about it is that I feel like every single meta, no matter how perfect you make it, it's always going to be down to rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm. And just to add a little bit more context onto the balances as well, like, yeah, Donghang does do the balances, but they do have, like, Donghang's not the only person who tests the balance changes. They do have QA team and everything like that, and people who test it at multiple skill levels, multiple trophy ranges, and everything like that. So they still go through and they do test the balance changes. And I think this is something that Supercell had learned from the Clash Royale community. A couple of years back, there was a huge outcry. I see people talking about it in the chat. There was a huge outcry about let pros balance the game because we can make better balance changes than the team can. So they tried that theory, and a large majority of the community, even after pros set these balance changes, there was still a huge outcry. And they're like, these balance changes are still not good. Like, they're a little bit better, but they're still not good. Here, the thing about balancing is there's always going to be, and this is just this is a fact for the internet, the negative voice is always louder. When you don't like something, you're going to vocalize it. If you like something, you're just going to stay quiet because you're content. So it's like, no matter what, we will always see the negative being the louder voice than the positives. So it's like, even if there are good balance changes, there's still going to be people crying about it. There's still going to be people complaining about it. And that's just what it's going to be. Even if community voted on balance changes, even if creators like we did, we gave our input onto the balance changes. We didn't talk a lot about some certain units, and we decided that, yeah, we'll let the team have more time and take that into consideration. But people are still outraged about some of the balance changes that even we set and we gave input on. So,
but overall, I feel like that, you know, like, you know, and this is actually something I want to talk about, like, you know, as a team, you know, as a team here, letting like I believe that Clash Royale had like this. I think they still do this. I don't play Clash Royale all too often, but I believe that they have like some kind of like voting system. Like they would propose changes, and then the community would like choose like the most popular ones. Can you guys back me up on this? Is this true?
We were just talking about
you know,
that a minute
Clash
ago.
Royale would have like
Small-
you know, would have
A
like some kind of like
a small amount of changes they do that with. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they
Yeah,
do, but
something
like I feel like they just give you double the bad changes and tell you only pick half of them. It doesn't like fix the problem, in my opinion. It makes it less likely to be an issue, but it's still like if the balances are bad from their spreadsheet, then what are we gonna do?
Then it doesn't matter.
They should
Yeah,
talk to the
exactly.
community and make the decisions themselves. Like they should talk to us, but they shouldn't let us make the decision full on.
Well, here's the thing, Clash Mini, the balances really aren't that bad with Clash Mini.
No, they aren't.
They just need to realize this. They need to realize you're working with small numbers, just like the Countess. You gave it +2 damage and you gave it extra HP. You can't do that. You got to just give it +1 small number increment buffs. You can then go to it next month and buff it a little bit more. But the issue that the team just has is they are just so focused on trying to solve a problem immediately instead of slowly buffing something up. Now, you can hard nerf something. I'm totally okay with that. But as far as when you are buffing a unit, slow buff it. Like they're doing with the Grand Warden, perfect example. It did light buff, so that now it's still not great, but it is viable. When you like the Wave Master, it got 2 separate buffs. You know, the Countess got 2 separate buffs and big buffs. They just need to learn small buffs and then buff it again the next month. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you look at the Clash Mini balances, every single balance comes down to them breaking 1 or 2 minis. And that's because they over buff it. If they were to just give a small buff, if they just gave a small buff to the Wave Master, like a little buff to the Wave Master here, maybe a little bit more HP or just something else, the meta wouldn't be broken right now. Like there's just these small things that the team is probably learning from and is going to adapt in the future. But hopefully they realize that these big buffs are just not it. Small buffs, if it still sucks, buff it again the next month, because you have unlimited time to buff something, but you don't have unlimited time to nerf it. The moment you release it, you're not putting out an emergency nerf. So you can't do that.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing with that too is, like you're mentioning, when they do those drastic buffs, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, the big problem too is that because classes are the way that they are, it just amplifies those like buffs that they made and just like pushes them over the edge. So it's like, yeah, like Wave Master with its current buff was probably going to be pretty strong, but because of the class buff that it gets also, it just pushes it over the top with a certain combination. Because like Wave Master with every other class, like Wave Master as a unit, it's not broken. Like, is it on the stronger side after its buff? Sure. But the class is what pushes it over the edge with the Riders and the C. But like if you put Wave Master with anything else, not nearly going to be as good as it is with those specific classes.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree that you can't, as a testing team, you're not going to test every single possible interaction. So the smaller the buff, the community will find it. You know, we'll find a way to make it viable, or we'll find a way to make it broken if it is. So let them figure that out. And if they can't, then you can buff it more. But don't you buff it to the moon like we did with the Wave Master and the Countess, back-to-back balances. You know, I think this is why we're only talking about balances, is because back-to-back, the exact same issue happened. An overbuff on a hero caused the meta to shift completely. And that's, you know, you have to take into account classes, you know, buffing everything as well. And that's something that needs to be accounted for when they do these balance changes. So it's not just buff the unit to make it viable. No, just buff it a little bit to where it is now and see how it is in a month from now. Don't try to buff it to make it viable. Like, that's what I think a lot of, even the community tries to buff things to make it viable. That's not what we should be doing. We should just be small buffing it and then seeing how it is in a month from now and then buffing it again just a little bit. You know, just give it a little bit of a kick here and there, and eventually you'll get into a good spot instead of these massive buffs.
Yeah, I think the perfect example of that, Barbarian, this past balance change. It was a small buff. It was like, could this make it viable? No, still not quite viable. So in the next month, buff Barbarian again. change it a little bit, see what happens, and just keep doing that. So where Barbarian can be in a good spot where it's not insanely broken like it was at one point, but it's also not super weak like it currently is.
I would
I
love
just want Barbarian to have the Barbarian King last stand ability and just have him deal like 50 damage and have the community go like, "You overbuffed a Barbarian."
to be honest with you, I would just give the Barbarian 2 HP every single balance until it's in a good spot. They like just
I mean,
keep
yeah.
doing it. Like, what's the downside? It's just I'm sure I don't know what it is in the coding, but I'm sure it's just pretty much just changing just a little bit of a code for the Barbarian, and then bang, 2 HP more, 2 HP more, 2 HP more, and eventually it's going to become broken. And then when it gets to that point, put it back and leave it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He survives a monk ability. He survives a monk clash ability. That'd be pretty funny. That would be so funny. Oh my god.
Honestly, I would love a mini to just tank that monk punch to the face. Like you just throw it in the front line.
Mega
No,
Knight.
a mini,
Star
not a
Mega Knight.
hero.
Oh.
A Giant
Star
can.
Mega Knight
Giant was
tanks
like
it.
at
Mega
round
Knight
5.
can, yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I just mean like have units that can just tank the crap out of it. Have multiple units that can just
Multiple
tank it.
back shot. I mean, sorry. Multiple shots, not back shots, but like, you guys know what I'm saying.
I also want a reverse Electro Wizard to where it's an Electro Wizard that's exactly the same almost, but instead of it stunning and doing damage to minis, puts every mini at half damage. That would be cool too, by the way.
We
I just
also
love
need
that.
range dissipate.
Yes,
Please
range
bring back
dissipate
range
as
dissipate.
well. No,
Remember
we're
when
asking how
Marker had
Headhunter
dissipate?
No, please no.
We
No.
do not.
No.
We do not.
We don't need
do
range
that.
dissipate.
Let
I
him
mean,
cook
Headhunter
it.
Headhunter
I mean, we
technically
have
has it.
Headhunter, yeah.
Headhunter's
Yeah.
broken. That's the issue.
Headhunter's not broken.
No, Headhunter I think is one of the worst minis in Clash Mini. It's just the best mini in Clash Mini round
Now
one.
that's too far. It's
Yeah,
not broken.
that's-
Wait,
it's not
hold
that
up.
far.
Hold up.
It's a good
Garn
mini.
is sitting right next to you in chat, and he's sitting there like,
I don't think it's a good mini. Here's why. Ready? Headhunter versus Archer Queen, useless. If you're not using it with like a Wave Master to stun it, like you're never gonna hit that. Versus Grand Warden, never gonna really hit it if you position it correctly. Versus World Champion, you never should be able to hit it. So like, yeah, it's great versus first row melee heroes, which are strong in the meta right now. You take that away, the Headhunter will severely have a win rate drop, like off a cliff.
But I think that's a perfectly good use case because, like you said, melee heroes are very strong. So Headhunter is just something to like keep it in check.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's
with
perfectly fine. But yeah, Headhunter's not
especially
broken.
with a
Headhunter's
fluid
just
meta.
fine.
Headhunter, in
Dagger
my
Goblin
opinion,
needs
is
a buff.
fisherman. Headhunter, in my opinion, is a round one fisherman.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Dagger Goblin needs a buff, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm gonna say this right now, okay? Dagger Goblin should be reverted back to where he was in Update 7. I feel like it would make him so much better. Remove, you can always remove the rogue buff. I don't really care about that, but I just want his Insidious to be back and not during random intervals. I want him to become invisible. I want him to start stacking and do 20 damage per hit. You guys remember that, right? He's a little Toolish mosquito that Chewy Maybe would call him. He'll just go around. When he gets that first kill, he mugs you. He jumps up, he starts mugging people. That's what I miss. I miss having those 2 elixir soft carries, right? As a Full Project said way earlier, they're minor. Now that he got the rage buff, now he has now he has he has all these specific type advantages that now make him a whole lot better, in certain situations. He's not super overpowered, but he keeps other minis in check. Dagger Goblin, I would love to see him reverted fully back to Update 7, maybe Update 7 Part 2 of the changes. I think that'd be really epic, but you can either remove the rogue class in order to compensate, or you can just keep the rogue class and just have rogues just running around.
Yep. Did you guys already talk about global date predictions?
Oh, we did not.
About what?
What?
You guys want to talk about it?
Global date predictions.
October.
Okay, let's see who gets the closer. Okay, to the date. Get it to the date, and we'll try to. And then we'll,
to the date.
talk about it. When we get the global date, we'll see who gets the closest.
October 14th.
Okay.
October 31st.
No, I'm gonna go with October 8th, No, I mean, was it? No, wait. I mean November 8th. Just so it's on like the anniversary.
Oh, that's smart.
Wait, I was having an audio issue. What are we doing right now?
Global date predictions.
To the day.
Mm.
Straight to the day.
To the date. To the date.
August
Not
10th.
just a month.
That's
August
early.
10th.
I would say July 1st.
Wow.
Wow,
I'm not
really?
gonna lie.
It's
I'm not gonna
July.
lie. In chat, and you stole my
Sorry.
answer. I was literally gonna say August 10th.
Yeah,
Well,
I was gonna say I'm thinking
I have a
it's
wedding
gonna
in
be
November.
earlier.
You think?
I can't, as I already said in our group chat, I can't imagine them waiting for 6 another month. Sorry, just
Dude, I
impossible.
was just
No,
about to say like
no.
y'all are saying
It's-
October,
it's either
November, and I
August.
know that we've got some big changes still to be made. But I think with ambitious updates, yeah, I'm thinking a summer month, bro. I'm thinking like mid-July,
Nah.
early August.
So-
But you still gotta
President
advertise
Day.
the game.
It's gotta be.
Marketing,
It's gotta
everything.
be early
Dude,
August.
marketing has to go through,
Right.
advertising has to go
Yep.
through. It has to be internal meetings
Yeah.
within other Supercell games. Like, there's so much that has to be done in the
Right.
back ends.
Uh-huh.
Like, just because Clash Mini's ready to go doesn't mean that it's ready to go on Supercell standards. That's just coming from me. It's like you know, as someone that works like you know in marketing and works as a salesman, to have multiple sales being pushed out, we have to get the okays from all other manufacturers. So
I mean,
it could take months. It
Like,
could
you
even
gotta
take
have
a
like
year.
language support
Give
teams
So
for,
next
like,
week?
100 different countries, all that. Like that the operation is so much. Too much that we don't even know about.
give them some time to talk to Sega and make a Sonic
Yeah.
collab.
Here's the reasoning why for August, because like if we think about it, like we're getting update 8.5, update 9, whatever it's going to be, probably the end of this month, right? Because we need content for the next couple seasons. If typically they've done updates with 3 seasons worth of content, if we're looking at that, we're looking at March, April, and May. They're going to push an update in June. Right, that's going to be the next update. They'll push a next update in June, and that's when they'll announce global. The team takes off in July because Supercell's off in July. And then August, that's when the game will go global because they'll finish doing everything that they need to do in June. They'll do some final preps in July. They'll do a last minute recap in August, and then mid-August the game's going to go global.
Imagine some of you already.
Enchantin and I are correct. August 10th. Mark it on your calendar.
Nah,
Imagine some
Nah,
of
you're
you-
capping, bro.
No.
I'll make Morty soup out of that.
Imagine some
I'm
of you
gonna say
already
August
know the
8th.
date. Imagine some of you got invited into like an exclusive event and you guys already know the date, like 2 of you guys, and you guys are just predicting the exact date. Like
It's only people who have creator
watching
codes.
you, Frontish.
I'm saying August 8th just to one up you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
come on.
To be honest,
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
think
seriously,
that
though.
they'll
Rachel,
announce,
Would-
like,
wouldn't
global
they
pricing
want,
right
like-
before.
Okay, so listen, wouldn't they want like a few months after the July break just to make like that global celebration?
No,
No.
because they'll already have it. Because if the next update comes out in June in the update cycle, then they'll have June to plan it. They'll relax in July, and then boom, come back and party hard.
All the data, so August
at
1st,
this
they'll have
point,
all the data on
they
their
will-
desk from all of July to change things right before and polish it right before launch.
Yep.
I
But you
mean,
got to give a week, before you do it.
Yep.
They need
for
to add
both
like
sides-
5 more female minis into the game though before they go global because there's only so much females in the game. I'm just saying it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys aren't brave to say it. I'll be brave to say it. Okay. They need at least 10 to 15 more female minis in order for Clash Mini to go global, or even the thoughts between global. I don't care about economy. I don't care about progression. I don't care about balance. I just want more females in Clash Mini.
Now that's they darn
So-
good.
Guys, why do you think that Frame
Like
didn't
the-
think about global party and all like marketing already?
Banana, chocolate.
They've probably thought Enchantin just naming foods.
Yeah,
He
like
said chocolate. He's like, dang, bro, these calories are giving me some big value. And he's like, look behind him. I need some art of that actually. I need here to the art community. Anyone here watching, I will commission, in chatting with a shopping cart, picking up chocolate in a call with all of us and saying, wow, chocolate, and that's it.
Yeah. But no, I think they've probably already discussed
Yeah,
the
they
global
must.
timeline and everything, and it's really just coming down to the data, and they're probably just finalizing some things and everything like that. So I think it'll take a little bit of time, but I don't think we're gonna get into like Q4 of the year and everything like that. But all right, I think we probably wrap up here to keep it within that hour and a half window.
Yep,
Oh my god, it's already been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's already been, I mean, I left for 30 minutes, but yeah, hour and a half.
Well, any closing remarks from anyone? Flacco, like, oh, I didn't know you were here, Flacco. What's up?
So I'm half asleep still, but we're here.
Mhm.
No,
see
but
you,
I
Mike.
honestly
Closing
think
remarks?
it's gonna take them a while. I think October. When is the 3 year in the anniversary for Clash Mini?
November 8th.
November 8th.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah, October. I'll say October.
Half
My
asleep,
closing
bro. Is it
remark?
not like noon for you, Flacco?
Yeah, I should probably wake up.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, by the way, Flacco, happy late birthday. Everyone chat, say happy late birthday. Bro just turned
Yes,
11 years
sir.
old. I'm so
Happy
happy for you,
birthday.
bro.
Happy
You know,
birthday!
I heard you're about to ask out your girlfriend, and I just want to say best of luck. You know, I know it's world champion. Like, I got you, fam. Just say, hey, can you throw that roll disc to my heart? And then, you know,
In-person collab with Spook coming soon.
hey, let's go.
So,
Let's get
Yeah,
it.
but thank you.
All right, but thank you everyone for watching for today. I know it's been
I know,
like
I'm
us
done.
just kind of like just talking around and everything. So just want to say thank you to all the creators and say thank you to chat for doing everything here. And yeah, we're gonna definitely schedule another one. We're definitely gonna have a lot more things planned, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
see ya.
Hey,
See ya
guys,
after.
you.
appreciate it. Happy
Bye.
birthdays.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya, guys.
Bye.
I'll be streaming like 5. So, see you guys. Bye. Wait, can I be the last one here? Oh, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here. Hold.
No,
Okay.
you can't.
I'm gonna take off my shirt.
You
I'm gonna
can't.
strip
stay
right
here.
now.
No.
Hey,
I'm staying.
I'm gonna strip. After
No.
party, boys.